Hey, get ready for a blast from the past because we're diving into the world of Sky High. Picture this: high school, superpowers, and a whole lot of teenage drama. Buckle up, folks. Josie and Stevie Stronghold are two real estate brokers hiding a secret they have superpowers. They look Superman and his wife, and they are considered to be the greatest heroes on the world. Jetsteam, the fastest woman on the planet, and the commander who is the strongest man in the world, has a son named Will Stronghold. He is expected to join them one day, saving the world. As they go down to the kitchen, father and son meet Layla, Will's childhood friend, who is also going to her first day at Sky High. But Will's father receives a call from the mayor. He must leave with Will's mom to go save the world. However, before he leaves, he lets Will know that the most of the students at the high school will more likely have one superhero parent, not two like Will does. He is lucky, wow. So he advises him not to show off too much after his parents leave. Oops, Will must be humble. In the next scene, his father and mother defeat the giant robot and takes the eye as a souvenirs. Today is Will's first day going to the Sky High with his best friend Layla Williams. They look cute. After all the young superheroes in the bus, the driver activates the seatbelts, securing everyone in their seats. He then swerves onto a highway under the construction, not understanding what is happening. They almost cried like a baby. But suddenly, Wing and a gigantic appear on the bus and begins to fly. Then the driver starts to flying over the school. Sky High is a school for superheroes, and floating thanks to anti-gravity thruster technology as a safety measure. Then the bus lands to the parking lot, walking towards the entrance. But halfway through, a student with a super speed starts to run around them, causing everyone to group together. After Speed stops running, another student named Lash, who looked like Elastic Man, approaches and tries to steal money from the student. But the class representative, Will's crush, Gwen, shows up and sends them away and walks to the school gym with the freshmen, where the principal gives the welcoming speech and explains about the power selection, which is a kind of test where the students show their abilities and the coach decides if they go to the hero or sidekick. Each student goes up on stage and performs their superpower for the coach, who, after evaluating everything, decides which group they belong to. Will's confessed to the coach that he has no idea what his superpower is. Will, eager to follow in his parents' footsteps, expects to be a hero, but life has other plans. Surprise! He lands in the sidekick class. Awkward, right? In the nurse's office, she tells Wills of the sobering possibility that he may never develop superpowers, just like Sky High's bus driver. After school, Will decides to tell his father the truth about not having any superpowers. However, before he can tell him, his dad takes him to the secret sanctum. The secret sanctum is decked out in scientific equipment and souvenirs from his parents' greatest battle. Seeing these, Will no longer has the confidence to tell him that he does not know what superpower he has or no superpowers. Poor Will. Meanwhile, the robot head from the Early's battle sits on a chair in the secret sanctum. Through it, two mysterious individuals watch Will and his dad from a monitor. Oh no. The next day in class, the students are being taught about being sidekicks, and one student wants to know when they are going to get to pick their superhero names. Sadly, sidekicks do not get to pick their own names or costumes for that matter. These are all decided by the hero they get paired with after graduation. It turns out that their teacher was once the commander's sidekick, but he was disappointed to find out that Will's parents have never even mentioned him to Will. He looked heartbroken. Students begin to adjust to life at Sky High as they learn to use different gadgets, such as nets and utility belts, and how will they change their costume and poses. Will makes friends with other sidekicks from his class. One night, they are at Will's house studying when his dad comes home early, and his friends introduce themselves to his dad. After introduction, his dad offers a sandwich while making the snack in the kitchen with Will. His dad asks how they became heroes with these powers, and Will's tell about them. His dad is very underwhelmed and tells Will that there is nothing wrong with being a sidekick. He tries to remember his own sidekick's name, but he forgot. Will finally has the confidence to tell his dad that he is a sidekick too. It really disappoints his father. His parents try to grapple with their disappointment. Eventually, they decide that being a family is as important as being a superhero family. I agree with that. The next day, Will stands up from the bullies for the bus driver, but it does not turn out to be a good idea. Despite knowing that he is going to have to face the consequences, he stands up to them. At break time, Will is carrying his lunch to the table when Lash reaches out his arm and pulls his leg, causing him to drop all the food right on top of Warren. Oh no. Warren is a superhero and a villain, and Will's dad was the one who put Warren's dad in prison. Thinking he did it on purpose, he gets enraged at Will and continuously throws fireballs at Will, who dodges and tries to escape. Run. Will tries to run to the fire alarm to neutralize Warren's power. But Lash realizes this and once again grabs his leg, causing him to slip again, helpless. He crawls underneath the tables and crawls toward the alarm while Warren keeps trying to cook him with fireballs. Realizing that if they do, nothing will be cooked, Layla and the others tries to interfere. But Warren won't stop and starts preparing to attack them, making Ethan melt completely. LOL, wanting to protect his friends. Will finally awakens his strength and lifts table where Warren is throwing him hard against the wall. Madly that they thought he would defeat it with this alone, Warren sets Super Saiyan and prepares his final blow. But Will manages to defeat him by putting out with the fire extinguisher that Layla throws at him. As soon as the fight was over, the principal appears and takes the two to the detention room where Will tries to make up, but Warren refuses and says that next time he will eliminate him. At home, his father is overjoyed to learn that Will has superpowers, and he gifts him an Xbox. Through the robot's eyes, the mysterious duo plots their revenge. The next day, Will transferred to classes for heroes. In his first class, Will gets to work with his loved one on building a freeze ray. However, he proves hopeless with technology, so Gwen uses her powers to build it for him. At lunch, Will is sitting with Gwen and her friends who do not allow Will's other friends to join because they are sidekicks. Will feels bad, and he asks Layla to the Paper Lantern, her favorite restaurant, to make it up to her. As soon as they finish talking, Ethan calling for help, turning to the corner, Will finds bullies stuffing his friends into lockers. So he stands up to the bullies yet again and makes the bullies let his friends go. Will's friends make a bet with bullies if Will wins a game of saving the citizens against them. In this game, a pair of heroes face off against a team of villains to save the hostage before the 3-minute time limit runs out. When it comes to the day of the contest, Lash and Speed choose to be villains and challenge Will and Warren to be the heroes. With the two-team defined, the coach begins the challenge. Lash stretches out his arms trying to grab Warren, but Warren Super Saiyan again and get free easily as Warren hurls. Will manages to tie up Lash, literally, but Warren is trapped by Speed's circular dash. Warren collapses under the strain, since Speed's vortex is sucking away the oxygen needed for his fire powers. Warren encourages Will to forget him and rescue the citizen, but Will ignores the citizen and takes out Speed. With only seconds left, Will uses a fastball special to throw Warren over the spike pit, rescuing the citizen. After this epic victory, Will goes home to tell what happened. The commander is thrilled to hear about his son's accomplishment, since no freshman has ever won Save the Citizen before. Surprised to see Gwen in the kitchen talking to his mother to help him with his science homework without remembering his commitment to Layla, Will accepts to sit down to dinner, but during the meal, Gwen reveals that she has also come to invite the commander and Jetstream to receive the award for Heroes of the Year. After dinner, Will walks Gwen home and asks her to be his date to the dance. Meanwhile, Layla, waiting for Will. She meets Warren, who has a job at the restaurant. Warren asks Layla if she is in love with Will. Layla confirms this, but is afraid that Will is in love with Gwen. Next morning, Will apologizes to Layla for missing the dinner at Paper Lantern. Layla is happy until Will explains that he is going to homecoming with Gwen. Layla, devastated, asks Warren to take her to homecoming. Warren does not like the prospect of it, but when he decides that taking Layla will spite Will, he happily agrees. Will and Gwen make the decision to meet with the homecoming committee later that week to talk about the dance. At Will's house, the entire hero class gathers to throw a celebration. Gwen asks Will if he knows of any quiet spots where they may have a private conversation. Will leads her to the sanctum, the only peaceful area in the home. As an unseen stranger enters and takes the pacifier weapon, Gwen gives Will a kiss. When Layla arrives at the party, Gwen tells her a falsehood, claiming that Will is disgusted by her affections for him. Heartbroken, Layla turns to go. Upon witnessing his friend's tears, Will aggressively calls Gwen out and orders everyone to leave. They choose to ignore him, but in that instant, Jetstream and the commander head back home. Everyone bolts out of the room at once. Will clarifies that he didn't actually plan the party and that he will not be attending homecoming with his parents. Will is urged to attend the dance by Steve, who wants to present the Stronghold 3, the world's greatest superhero family. That evening, Will remains in the sanctum as Commander and Jetstream depart for homecoming. As Will flips through his father's old yearbook, he notices the girl who suspiciously resembles Gwen holding what appears to be a pacifier. When he realizes the real pacifier is missing, what a plot twist. He calls Ron Wilson to arrange for a last-minute ride to Sky High. When Gwen reunites with Commander and Jetstream at the homecoming dance, she reveals who she really is. The evil Royal Pain, Commander is reduced to a baby form when Royal Pain applies the pacifier on him. The pacifier ray hits a few more members while Speed, Lash, and Penny block off all of the exits. Through an air vent, Warren, Layla, and the sidekicks are able to flee. Zack used his abilities to guide them to the correct exit. At the same time, Will finally arrives at the school, and while he is passing through the hallway, he sees Zack glowing in the ventilation pipe and helps them out with everyone. Will apologizes to his friends for being such a jerk. Layla kisses Will as a means of forgiveness. Just then, Lash, Speed, and Penny find them in the hallway and prepare to attack them. But knowing he has no time to lose, Warren tells Will to go after Gwen while they take care of the henchmen. Warren fights Speed, but he is unable to strike the dashing bully. Ethan escapes, but easily caught by Lash, who tries to hit him. But to avoid the damage, he manages to melt away and crawl into the bathroom. Nice. Lash tries to go after him and starts checking the toilets, and then trapping Lash's head in a toilet and flush. You deserve it. Meanwhile, Warren tries to hit Speed with his fireballs, but as he speeds up, he ends up almost hitting Ethan, who is forced to become a puddle of jelly and ends up losing control, flying right into the wall. Meanwhile, in the cafeteria, Layla refuses to attack as Penny corners her further, but changes her mind and decides to strike back when she punches her in face. Strike. Penny decides to reveal the whole plan and tells Layla that Gwen sabotaged the school's anti-gravity thrusters, which means that in 10 minutes, Sky High will begin to free fall. Knowing this, Layla gets together with a group of friends. And together, they come up with the idea of having Magenta transform into a guinea pig to enter the room and reset the system as Magenta advances down the pipeline. Meanwhile, Will confronts Gwen, who is taking the infant heroes away to start her own academy of supervillains by re-raising the heroes from scratch. Gwen also confirmed that in truth, she is Sue Tenney. The original pacifier weapon backfired on her, so she waited to grow up again and exact revenge. Will is disgusted. He's been in love with an old lady. Gwen gets tired of talking and finally takes action, smashes Will through the wall of the gym. Will and Royal Pain are still fighting when she lands a devastating punch, sending Will flying out of a window and off Sky High. Seconds later, Will returns to the same spot, revealing he awakened his second power, flight! Now he can fly Will's get revenge and destroy her. Although the Royal Pain has been defeated, the timer zeroes out and the thrusters begin to fail, causing the school to go freefall, trying to save everyone. Our Will flies down and uses his powers to stop the fall. But even with all his strength, he can't. Just then, Magenta chomps through the wire seconds before Sky High slams into a residential neighborhood. Outside, Will manages to slow down the school and flies with it back up into the sky. With no more villains around, Warren picks up Mr. Medulla in baby version and takes him to the lab to fix the pacifier. That way, he can get everyone back to normal age, with the end of the villains. The college becomes a peaceful place again, and Royal Pain is finally arrested. And there you have it, Sky High. A supercharged blend of high school hilarity, superhero shenanigans, and the ultimate lesson that even sidekicks can soar to new heights. Like and subscribe. See you in the next one.